after. Had a very restful sleep. I need an extra mattress in my swag because the ground's hard. I'm getting old. But yeah, on the lake, that person came and parked right blocking my view. Not very nice, Mr. Apollo. Alright, let's go and do some exploring. You ready for exploring? Alright, we're doing a quick morning charge. Going up to 80%. Only got 5 more minutes left. And Twig's ready to go. We did the plug share. We got an English breakfast tea. And a pie. Look at that. A pie. We're going to go exploring on the Narrung Peninsula. Let's do it. Just like that, we're done. And how's the serenity? Woke up this morning with some tree lopping. There's the Meningie Hotel. So we undo it. There we go. Chopping down old pine tree, at least the limbs of it. There we go. Back inside. So we did 25 minutes for 24 kilowatt hours. Not sure how much that cost, but alright. Locked up. Polestar's looking fresh. There's a car wash over there. Good to know. And there's the Twig, all ready for adventurizing. Hey Twig? Good girl. Let's go. Okay, we're at Raukkan, the Aboriginal community on the Narrung Peninsula. And this is as far as I'm going to go. South or west or whatever, but there's the Coorong and Lake Alexandrina, and Melang is right there. That's normally where I drive past. Big old lake all the way across. And there's some Aboriginal communities. Yeah, been to Raukkan. Tick that off the list. Good girl, Twig. Good girl. This looks like an awesome track. And there's the cliffs over there, and that's the ocean over there. Mouth of the mighty Murray River. In Raukkan on Narrung. Check out that dog. He's looking at me and he's looking pretty fierce. Don't bite me, dog. And here we are in the middle of Raukkan. Check out that cool mural. Here we go. Very cool. And there's the post office. War memorial. Church. Old buildings. Doggy. And there we go. We've made it to Raukkan on the Narrung Peninsula.
He adopted their child because
Right.
that was a white fella's child. There's
Right.
a Cameron. And
What was his name?
Cameron's, I think.
Cameron.
Yeah.
Look at
I
that.
think, don't quote me on that.
Right.
But that's my grandfather, my mum's side. Now,
Alright, here's a bit of a story about David Unaipon. 1872 to 1967, the first Aboriginal person to feature on Australian banknote was born in Meningie on the banks of the River Murray, and went to school and lived much of his life here at Raukkan, Port Macleay. Also featured on the $50 banknote is the chapel, built in 1868 under the direction of Reverend George Taplin. Scientist, inventor, lay preacher, author and musician, Mr. Unaipon dedicated himself to advancing the rights of Aboriginal people. And Uncle was telling me that he actually invented the shearing comb, right?
yeah, the handpiece.
The handpiece.
Yeah, and,
So
and also, I think I've heard somewhere, a perpetual motion in it that makes them
Right.
like that work,
Right.
which made it easier for the shearers
Right.
and all that. So you've got to.
That's a huge invention. I mean, that's made a big difference.
And also hair cutting. You know, you get a
Yeah,
haircut
even the
now,
hair cutting.
all that motion and that does that. So you imagine the millions he should have got if he was.
Yeah.
If he was.
If he was able to patent it.
Patent it. Yeah.
Mm.
So. You know what the government's got out of that.
Yeah, and
I
just
shouldn't say
the
that.
I mean, the industry and just the society. You know.
What,
It was good that they put him on the $50 note. That's
Yeah,
pretty important
yeah,
recognition.
yeah.
Actually, I have one here in my.
that's the handpiece that he invented
Yeah,
for shearers to make
Yeah.
shearers work hard.
faster.
And this is to do with the helicopter, I think. He invented helicopter blades.
Oh,
designed
wow.
on a boomerang.
Amazing! What an amazing man, hey?
Yeah, and there's something he wrote on here. And if you look closely enough, if you look really close, he spelt imaginings. Now, for a learned man, I thought that was odd that he spelled images.
Oh, images as imagining.
And then he put the IN for imaginings.
Maybe he meant to do that on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I was
Because
told.
he had a good imagination.
It had two purposes, two meanings. You know?
Right. It was the image, and it was also imagining.
Yeah, so he's got a little arrow down the bottom with the IN.
Right.
Imagining. So
And we can see there's the church where I took your photo.
yeah,
That's you can see the bell tower up there.
yeah.
How cool is that? And that's the gallery there.
That used
Right. So this is the church.
This is the hall.
This is the hall, sorry.
And my mother came out here and she sang, I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts, everyone is hanging in a row. You know, and she sang that on the stage in here.
Right.
And I remember singing that there.
So that would have been what, in the 70s or 60s?
Oh, later than that, earlier than that, I mean. And
Wow, look at the roof. The ceiling's beautiful. It's all straw.
yeah, well, it never used to be like that. It used to be straight across from that white board.
Right.
Because I remember coming here and we were staying with that woman over there, Sandy Lovewell,
Yep.
and we had about 12 of us, all fellows brought up from Adelaide working in here, and we ripped all the old ceiling out, which ran from that white right edge straight across.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I don't remember finishing it really.
So they still have community things in here every now and then?
Not
Not
really.
They would have used to have dances and
we
things.
have little meetings and that in here, you know. And,
Right.
there's a girl that a Christian girl. She's a Christian comedian girl. She's been over to Melbourne in the comedian shows and that. And
She puts on a show every now and
She
then.
has she's a Christian girl, so sometimes she starts trying to get the children coming in.
Right.
For this sort of stuff.
And then the church, that's the one that's on the $50 note. And that was Mr. Unaipon. Unaipon, sorry. So he was the one on the $50 note, and he was one of the original, or elders or farmer. He used to farm here, or Mr. Unaipon?
He was a minister.
He was a minister.
And there was also a teacher. And he was an inventor.
And an inventor.
He invented a shearer's handpiece.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Perpetual motion.
Yeah. Wow, that's
So when you get a haircut, he invented that.
wow. That's an amazing story, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Unky, this is where your house used to be, right here on the other side there, where the pepper tree was.
Yeah, you see that.
And you remember it was a very small tree, that one.
That was just growing, and so I tidied it up. It was pretty rough just a while ago.
Right.
I tidied it up too, so kids could get under it and climb it if they need to, if they want.
And so this is the church on the $50 note. In Sejuna. Say again? He's not alive, yeah. I've lived there for 8 years. 8 years, so only...
He would have passed away, but
yeah. Oh, wow.
So that's the story there of that window. It's a memorial for that window.
Oh yeah, talking about that's to do with the war heroes. So Unaipon, he was the minister in this church.
He was a minister. He was had a teacher on that. But this is a fellow that was a church minister here, Reverend George Tapman.
Oh yeah, so it was originally Point Macleay Mission. Right, Point Macleay Mission, 1859. Wow, and it's interesting that you have all the focus on the war. So there would have been people here that from Raukkan that went and fought and died in the war. Oh, there's the Nananjeri Anzacs.
One of the crosses are the ones that died.
Yeah. Oh, look how many died. That's so sad.
My grandfather, yeah.
Rigney. Wow. Yeah, people forget the Aboriginal connection to all the wars, and they just went and fought, even though it really wasn't their land, was it? I mean, it wasn't their king or whatever, or queen, they still went. Wow. Beautiful old building.
Those pictures, I think that's all chalk.
Chalk drawings.
Chalkboard,
Amazing. So did Unaipon, he was the minister in this church?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
I'm assuming he would have had stuff. My
Connection to it.
grandfather sang in a choir here.
Right.
My great-grandfather.
Right.
Philip Rigney, who comes from Western Australia.
Okay, originally from WA.
My real connection is to the Rigneys. A real connection is
Right.
to our grandmother, great-grandmother. She was
Right.
She was born on the Coorong.
Your great-grandmother was born on the Coorong.
And Philip Rigney came over from Western Australia and he married her. So that's our connection to Raukkan.
And do you still live here in Raukkan, or you live in Meningie, or you live here?
I live here.
You live here, and you do some caretaking around the church and stuff.
Not really. No, I'm retired.
You're retired.
I can't help myself.
Yeah, you got to look after it. Someone's got to look after it, don't they?
Just see it in this repair, sometimes. But yeah.
Oh wow! Well, thanks, Anki, for showing me around.
So is that personal or?
No, it'll go up on my channel. Is called Kangaroo Island TV,
All right.
and you can look that up on YouTube. And it's mainly about my car and driving it around Australia. So
Right,
yeah, I drove it all the way around Australia last September, and in 5 weeks.
Right.
It's an electric car, so it gives some bit of a challenge.
I'm looking at the front of it. I thought it was.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for showing me around. So that's the church on the $50 note. Town hall, and now we're going to go and look at a few other things. Unky's going to show me. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Steps going up there.
All the way up there. That's the second story.
Steep steps up there, but I took them down because they're dangerous for the children.
Right.
And that the picture man used to come here. We call that.
Oh yeah, picture man for the movies.
Movies and that. And
Movie night.
We had an old uncle here. His name was Matthew
Catineri.
Yeah.
I know that name. That name.
He used to help. He come here as a young fellow. He used to help the fellow carry all these cameras up there.
Wow.
And he used to get into the pictures for nothing. So
Right.
we call
So
him
that-
Uncle Picture Man.
Uncle Picture Man, and that would have been exciting for the kids back then, hey?
Yeah, I've seen all the old cowboy pictures. We all wanted to be cowboys. We forgot that
Right.
we were really like the Indians, fighting for our land.
There you go. All right, so we're going to drive now, Unky.
Yeah, we'll go up to. I'll take you up to top.
All right, I'll follow you in my car, okay? Raukkan.
They have a better border, man.
So they have different. Did the Raukkan football team have a name?
Stuff here too,
Oh yeah. All the trophies and everything.
yeah.
NAIDOC award.
Duck if you don't want to be on TV.
I'll zoom past you. Cool. So those are the trophies that the guys have won over the years.
Yeah.
Did Raukkan ever have its own football team? or they just played for other people?
They had their own.
What was the football team called? Like the Tigers or Swans? The Raukkan Swans.
Now there used to be a big hedge up here, and it was boxthorn.
Boxthorn, yes, we've got that on Kangaroo Island
and all
too.
the old fellas used to prune them up.
Right.
And there was a big hedge that went up there,
And Russell, tell me this, you were born in that building there, right?
in that room.
In that room there, back when it used to be like the doctor. What year was that, Russell?
9th of May 1948.
9th of May 1948, and your birthday?
Which was Mother's Day.
Mother's Day in those days.
Mother's Day, yeah.
Oh, your mother would have got a nice present then.
No, she was hard. I was a big fat baby.
Oh, it was a hard labour for her.
She would have been screaming at me to get out.
And this is the war memorial, so there's a big, the war...
Yeah, there's a big one there up the side of it.
So here's the war memorial, lest we forget. That Aboriginal flag's cool with the boomerang in the sun.
Yeah.
Is that for Raukkan only?
That's the Raukkan flag.
The Raukkan flag.
All those dots are the different tribes.
Right.
Tribes.
Amazing, I've never seen that one before. So that'd be a boomerang in the sun, and then that kind of looks like the lake, the water, maybe. And then the tribes are the dots.
Yeah.
And then these are the people that died in the war, or they actually no, the ones with the crosses maybe. They died. And there's a Rigney there, so that's your family.
Yeah.
The Rigneys.
Yeah.
And there's the Black Swan, the mascot of the football team.
Yes.
Alright, we're going to go another little mission with Russell, and there's the church on the $50 note. How cool is this? We're getting a little tour.
Yeah.
He invented that much.
Yeah.
There was that many inventions that he had, and it was just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a fella. I mean, for living like out here and being able to think, you know, I mean, to come up with something completely new like that.
Well, he was one of the first people that...
He was way ahead of his time.
Yeah, he was.
He did all these magnificent things, and yet they wouldn't let him stay in a hotel, which is just absolutely ludicrous.
It's horrible, isn't it? All that discrimination back in the day.
Stupid.
He spoke
They were
Greek
ignorant.
and Latin as well.
What?
Played the piano.
In the village, like.
Yeah, that's what he wrote too. What he spoke about. That's how the advertiser reported his speech.
Wow.
He's over there, see?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to put a little rock here, the tradition. Put a rock on there. There's a marble there.
Is there a record of them?
Put that on there in memory.
And even my parents, I told my brother the other day, so that the birds, because we got migratory birds from over in Siberia and all that come here.
Okay.
And what they want to do is let the fish in and get rid of some of the carp that way and shut the sluice gates, and that dries up and all the birds will have feed the fish and that. You know?
Yeah, they're holding back the clean water, the not salted water.
That's the barrage.
That's the barrage.
Yeah.
That's different,
That's
I
out
think.
further, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's out further.
My brother over here, when he got buried there, when he passed away, his last wish was not to go right around the lake, but to come across the barrage.
Yes.
So the funeral car brought him across the barrage.
Oh wow! In a boat or in a boat?
No,
In a car, you can drive on there.
Drive across there, yeah.
Normal people, normally you can't, but that was special
That was a request.
That was
a Right.
Last request.
to go across the barrage.
Yeah.
Oh, that was excellent.
Yeah. So he's very. You know how I said Kano was very passionate about
The culture and the
Kangaroo Islands. That's his. That's Ramangeri. That's part of a Ngarrindjeri nation too.
Yes.
But it's Ramangeri, and he was very passionate.
what was his name?
Kano Walker.
Kano Walker. Yeah.
Yeah. And
But no, your brother who went across the barrage.
my brother was the one that came across.
What was his name?
Douglas Milera.
Douglas Milera.
Maya.
Maya.
Yeah, nickname.
Yeah.
So Yeah, Kana was very passionate about that. My brother, he was very passionate about that bridge being built over to Granite Island, not Granite Island,
Oh, at Victor Harbour there.
yeah, no, not Victor Harbour, not Granite Island, Galway.
Oh, Hindmarsh Island.
Hindmarsh.
They were, because that's got a story to it, an old story. That's a woman's island. That's a special island. That has cultural significance to us. And the bridge over there shouldn't have been built. So Maya's wife, she was very passionate about that, and they protested against it.
Yeah.
Now the woman that got the bridge built there, I heard that she doesn't like it no more, because there are a lot of larrikins going over there and doing
Burnouts. Yeah. That's the same thing. I don't want a bridge ever to Kangaroo Island.
Yeah.
I think it would wreck it, you know, because
and it'll spoil
the ambience when you get there, you know that you're on an island, you feel separate, you feel like you're a special place, you know. If they built a bridge, not that they would ever be able to, because it's just too deep backstairs passage, but yeah, I don't like bridges either. Here we are at the lookout. Look at that. So Russell was saying that was used to be all sandy, and now they've put the sluice gates in and it's become a wetland, and it's birds come all the way from Russia and all around, and then they open the sluice gates and let the carp in, and then the birds feed on the carp. Look at that, we're on this massive cliff here overlooking Lake Alexandrina, which then empties into the Coorong out there. There's sand hills over there. Beautiful, magnificent place. Big old lake, and then that way over there, that's where the River Murray goes in, and then Lake Albert connects. That's where we were at Meningie. But yeah, it almost looks like an ocean. It's just so big, massively big. There's the Polestar and the Twig. Look at that. Got a better view from up here. Look at that. Very cool of the lake. Check that out. Here we go. Raukkan State Aboriginal Champions 89, 90, 92, 94, 95, 96, 97, 09. Whoop, there it is. How's the Serenity? How's the Serenity?